Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds in 3 years. If you'd like to join the family, hit that subscribe button. Also, click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. If you'd like to participate in on the discussion, you can join me on my live streams. I do most weekdays, or outside of the live stream, you can consider joining the Discord I have. There's a link for that down in the description. A lot of times we get asked about the food that we eat on our diet. So in order to share that with you guys, we created a Pinterest board that has a lot of our family's favorite whole food plant-based meals. And there's a link for that down below as well. Today is day 618 of my 3-year challenge to lose 300 pounds. I've used a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet to lose over 210 pounds in the past 20 months. I have 15 or so months left to go, and I'm looking forward to reaching my goal and attaining a healthy, happy lifestyle for the rest of my life. If anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories. If you have any on-scale victories, I'd love to hear those as well. If you're struggling to get started on a diet, or you're struggling to stay on track, share your story. Maybe we can help you out. And if you are getting started on a diet, what steps are you going to make that will allow you to allow staying on your diet, to make staying on your diet easier? We got a few different people checking in here. Christy saying happy Monday. Pretty Girl's mom, Linda, and Aunt Day's Kitchen all saying hello. Blastoise is asking me about the electrolyte powder that I used. If Carrie is watching, I think she would know. Yeah, and I believe it was Ultima electrolyte powder. Is the electrolyte powder that I was drinking this last when I did the water fast to start the channel here. I know that there was 2 different flavors, and if you wanted to go back and watch any of my videos from when I did the water fast, I probably talk about it a little bit from that time. But I really started to not like the taste of them. I believe I had like an orange one and maybe a lemonade one. And one of them I quit taking fairly early on because I just didn't like the taste or something about it. And then the other one I took really up until about the last 10 days. And then I didn't drink any electrolyte powders the last 10 days. I had kind of found out about the True North Clinic at that point, and they don't really push electrolyte powders. And like I said, I was not real happy with the flavor or, what I was getting from them. So I didn't take them a whole lot. So it wasn't like a regular every day I made myself an electrolyte drink. It was, every few days if I felt the need to. Rick's checking in saying, good afternoon. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I hope all you guys had a great weekend too. It was a fun weekend. I'll go over a little bit about it. Pretty Girl's mom has got a scale victory. You lost 4 pounds when you checked this morning. That's awesome. That's really great. I'm glad to hear that you're seeing the scale go in the direction you want to see it go. That's great. But yeah, it was a good weekend. We did a little bit of swimming on Saturday. We ended up getting in a pool and swimming for a little while, and got some grass cut this weekend. I needed to cut my grass, so I cut 90% of it. There's probably, I cut 90% of what I can cut on a riding mower. And then there's a certain percentage of the yard that I need to push mow, that I continue to put that off as long as I can. So I need to get out and do some of that. Carrie's checking in saying, hello, Carrie. Hope everything's going great at home today. So I did, some swimming. I got some grass cut this weekend, just kind of hung out with the family and, just enjoyed the weekend. It was pretty nice weather-wise, especially when we went out swimming. That was really nice weather-wise here. Let me, what I'll do is I'll go in here and we'll talk about the food that I had this weekend. Food was interesting, I guess, or I'll talk a little bit about it. But we'll kind of go over what we had to eat. I can switch over to here now. I was still on the intro. So, let's see if I hit the right buttons. There we go. That was dinner Friday night. One of my new favorite dinners. This is the rosemary and bake sweet potato casserole, maybe is what it's called. Sweet potato something. It's got sweet potatoes, rice. There is some chickpeas in there, and then I guess tahini type sauce that we put on it. And I had a bowl of that. I actually didn't eat as much of this as I normally would, and I don't know, no particular reason. I just didn't end up going back for seconds. I didn't feel like it, which is probably a good thing. I don't always need to go back for seconds, and it would probably help me if I did that fewer times. And then this is just waiting for my phone to catch up. It's way behind. Let me see if it catches up here. So this next photo here is just a photo of what happened. Let me reset it. It seems to be frozen. This will go like this and like that and like this. All right. Try again. Nothing. It was working. Now it's not. What are you doing to me here? We had a deal. You were going to work for me. Still nothing. Carrie says that she was happy to have the leftovers the next day. Yes, I'm sure she was. This was dinner Friday night. So when I got home, all right, it's still not working. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just have to talk about the food that I ate, and I won't have any photos here. No. Okay. Maybe give that a minute to decide that it wants to work. So we had the rosemary and bake. Saturday, I had to get up and go to work before before the oatmeal was ready to go. And so I did not eat any breakfast at the time. Then when I got home from work, which was about midday, I ended up having our standard oatmeal for lunch on Saturday. And then on Saturday evening for dinner, we had Spanish rice with Rotel tomatoes, which was really nice because usually Carrie doesn't put the Rotel tomatoes in it because our kids are not a fan of the spiciness that you get from the Rotel. So our Spanish rice had Rotel tomatoes and rice, and it was great for dinner on Saturday evening. Sunday morning, regular oatmeal, and then gosh, I'm annoyed that this isn't working because I have photos I want to show you. I took the time to take the photos, and I want to show you the photos, and I could hold them up to the screen, but that would be a little weird. And so yesterday, breakfast was oatmeal, lunch was leftover of the Spanish rice, and then dinner, Carrie made the plant-based Gabriel's 3-2-1 burger patties. And so we had that for dinner, and I really wanted to show you. There we go. It's working. There's dinner. So this was dinner yesterday. I suppose I could go back through and look at the other photos. Not that it really matters. This was I took a photo of this. This was my lunch bowl for Saturday. This is what happens when you live in a house with 3 daughters, and so I took a photo of that. And then, like I said, I did have some shredded wheat with raisins. I actually didn't have, there's a lot of raisins in this. But I only had that once. I've been switching over to the pineapple, eating the shredded wheat with pineapple is what I've been kind of switching to. And I do like it, probably a little bit more than the raisins. And actually, the latest like container Carrie got of raisins, she just got it recently. I'm really not a big fan of the flavor. Like the raisins don't seem as sweet, which probably is good, I guess. But so I definitely like the pineapple, or I'm liking the pineapple, and we'll probably switch to that instead of having the dried fruit and just have the pineapple. Jane says that Brand New Vegan has a great Spanish rice recipe for the Instapot. We'll have to check that out. I don't know how complicated it gets with the Spanish rice recipes. It seems fairly simple. And then dinner yesterday was this plant-based Gabriel's 3-2-1 burgers, broccoli, and that's one of the ears of corn that I ate over the weekend. I probably ate 5 or 6 ears of corn throughout the whole weekend. It's getting to that time. We finally have a sweet corn stand set up down the road from us, so it's getting to be sweet corn season here, and I'm looking forward to it. Getting much fresher, like right off the stalk sweet corn. The only thing with dinner yesterday was we have this balsamic vinegar that Carrie picked up that I decided that I wanted to put some of it on the broccoli, and I put way too much of it on the broccoli. Like I put it on like it was a sauce, and trying to or put it enough on that it kind of covered all of the broccoli. Definitely a mistake. So I ended up taking the little pieces of broccoli and putting them on top of the plant-based Gabriel's the patty there, and kind of eating it like that was like a cracker with broccoli on top of it. It was awkward, but yeah, Rick says a little balsamic goes a long way. Yes, it was too much. Like I was really pissed because I wanted to eat the broccoli. I've been trying to follow this starch solution kind of protocols, or sort of 50-50 plate. I guess this plate kind of looks like a 50-50 plate, or what a 50-50 plate would look like. And when I kind of felt like I ruined the broccoli, I was frustrated because it tasted fine without it. And that's something that 2 years ago I never would have said ever. But broccoli without anything on it isn't really that bad. And if you eat salt, I think that a little bit of salt on broccoli probably is all the seasoning that you would need, but we don't eat salt. So so that was dinner yesterday. The only thing that I didn't get any photos of, and I keep thinking that I should take more photos of it, is all the fruit that I've kind of been eating the last week. Last night Carrie gave me a hard time because I sat down and I had a banana, an apple, and 2 oranges, and she was giving me a hard time about my fruit salad, or my bowl of fruit that I had, because I was looking for a snack and just something that wasn't super high calorie. Rick says California balsamic has a lot of great flavors. Yes. When I was a guest on Chef AJ's show, one of the things that every guest that's on her show is they get a couple bottles of the California balsamic, and we had picked up a couple flavors of it and really enjoyed it. We will probably go back and order from them for future balsamics. I'm not sure. It hasn't really been something we talked about, but because she wanted to give this local place a try to see what they had, we bought this. It's called like Neapolitan, or yeah, I think it's Neapolitan balsamic vinegar. And yeah, that's how you found out about the California balsamic, was through Chef AJ. Yeah, and I really liked it. We got like a teriyaki and maybe like a smoked hickory or something. I can't remember the names of the flavors, but we liked both of them. Uh, and we used them up pretty quickly. So it's not like a full bottle you get. It's just a little like sampler bottle, but it was still nice to get them and have access to it and try that out. And so that was the food for the weekend. I was talking to Carrie a little bit about it yesterday, and I'm in a weird spot with the food because it is, it's just eating more starches, getting rid of the nut butters, getting rid of kind of some of those things that were my crutches. You know, I'm still holding on to the shredded wheat with the raisins, but that is not as trying to think of the right, like the taste pleasure, you know, like when I had the nut butters, that was great. You know, they tasted great. When I was drinking the fruit juices, they tasted awesome. And so I've felt like I've been a little bit lost with the snacking. And so what I especially like getting rid of the cashews, like not having cashews around to grab a handful or two of those were easy snacks. And so I've been trying to do more like fruits for my snacks, and it's been going well, but it just, the diet has seemed a little bit boring is not, I mean, boring might be the word I'm thinking of, but it was it's just not exciting. Maybe it's like, it's probably how food should be, you know, but because we're so used to having these high dopamine foods that we expect that from our diet. Rick says that cashews are worse than dope. Yeah, definitely, especially, you know, resisting the temptation and trying to stop. You know, it's like the chips. You can't just eat one. You got to eat a handful and then find an excuse to go get another half handful or another, you know. And I think that when you eat the way we're eating, which to most people looks like, you know, 100% health food diet, like everything on our diet is fairly healthy foods. When you have those foods around that are still kind of healthy, like nobody's really saying cashews are unhealthy or people are dying because they're eating cashews, but they're, you know, cashews they slow down weight loss progress for sure. And so when you have them around, when your diet is awesome, you know, when it's all health foods, and then you have these little things like cashews in your cupboards, it makes it so much easier for you to talk yourself into eating them, because you're eating great. And so, you know, what's it hurt to give in a little bit, you know, live a little, I guess. And then the other is that, is it really going to hurt me that much? You know, like eating cashews isn't going to hurt me, you know, but right now I'm putting my focus back on the weight loss. And so the decisions that I make need to be for losing weight. You can construct diet that you lose weight and have cashews, I'm sure, but I'm just not able to do it right now. And when I get to my goal weight, maybe we'll bring more back in, but I need to be doing things that are putting me in a position where I can guarantee that I'm at a calorie deficit and or give myself a better chance to be at a calorie deficit than a calorie surplus. And having things like cashews and avocados and fruit juices around are not things that are helping me keep that, putting myself in a position to lose weight. I saw a meme, I guess it would be, right? Or a photo that I shared to my phone because I wanted to talk about it a little bit. And it really was part of, there's a lot of things going on with it, but it was like part of the reason why I challenged myself to do this for 3 years versus to just lose weight. I see if I can get this back up. So I don't know if you guys can read it here, but the red line is motivation and the green line is habits. And you can see the motivation line goes up real fast and then it drops down and it goes back up and drops down and goes back up. And then at the very end there, the guy just says, I give up. Whereas the habits there is a straight line up and the guy at the top says, let's keep going. And I saw this and it really made me think of kind of my history with weight loss and many people's history with weight loss. And for decades, I was the red line guy that I would get something would happen or something would come up that I wanted to lose weight for. Or, one day I, finally decided to do something. And so I would be all ready to go, go to the gym, get a membership. I remember back, you guys remember the show, The Biggest Loser. They had those armbands that the contestants wore. Me and Carrie both bought those armbands. They were like $300 or $400 a piece for these armbands. And they were going to be, knowing all our numbers is what's going to help us lose weight. And going and seeing the doctor and doing the programs with them or going to Weight Watchers and doing those programs, you have all this motivation and you're all ready to go. And then something, happens and you lose that motivation, whether it's the, something actually happens that makes you stop the diet or the event that you were trying to lose weight for happens and then your motivation goes away, whatever that happens. And so then you kind of go back and you lose all the progress that you had made. And then something new comes up or a new diet program, you see a new ad for something or a new pill. And so you get motivated again and you start going to the gym. And it's just this awful cycle that many of us have been stuck in. But there's never any consistency and there's never, not to like where I saw it a lot was like YouTube channels and people, there was, you can search YouTube and find thousands upon thousands of people that created a channel like this, similar to this, maybe not, but like, hey guys, I'm 500 pounds. I need to lose 250 pounds. I'm going to start working out twice a day. I'm going to get a gym membership. I'm going to eat 800 calories and I'm going to post a new video to update you guys what's going on. And, they're super motivated. They got it all figured out. They're going to get it going, and then things get in the way. They can't work out twice a day. They can only work out once a day. Making videos takes longer time than they realized it was going to take, or they're not happy with the results that they're getting. And so they don't want to post if they're not showing positive results, and they find reasons to backtrack, and then they lose that motivation and then they disappear. Like that's really what kind of got me was how many people start a weight loss channel, have this this huge plan, and then they just disappear. And that was something I didn't want to do. And so I knew going in, or I felt going in, that it was the rabbit in the hare. It was going to be slow and steady, was going to win this race. And I knew that I needed to figure out what the diet that I needed to follow to lose the weight. I did start off with a huge jump by doing the water fast, but I knew before I started this, and even during the water fast, that I needed to develop habits that were going to be lifelong habits, that were going to give me these results that I've been looking for, and results that were going to stick, because that's part of it too. Like there's so many times, eating an 800 calorie diet, you will lose weight. Absolutely guaranteed. No matter who you are, if you're overweight and you start eating an 800 calorie diet, you will lose weight, but it's not sustainable. And then when you start fighting yourself about eating more food, and then you give in because you have to eat, like your body is telling, your body is sending you these signals of malnutrition, and finally you give in, then you start to lose that motivation, or you start to not see the scale go down as fast as it was going down because you've had to increase your calories. You lose motivation, and motivation has been great. And it helped me get this channel started. It helped me, and I'm still motivated, but my results are going to be from the habits that I changed and the new habits I've developed and the consistency that I've had over time. And like when I was talking about the food this weekend and how it seems like the food's not exciting. It doesn't have to be exciting, but I'm continuing on with those habits, and it's bound to get somewhat boring or repetitive, but it's gonna get me the results I want to see. And so I saw this photo and I really felt like it spoke to me how I started this channel and how I knew I was highly motivated, but I had to kind of rein myself in and be like, hey, don't try to do too much, because it's going to catch up to you quicker than you realize, especially with all the changes I've made now. Because when I started this, I had no idea I was going to be eating a whole food plant-based diet. But my goal during my water fast was to find out what my future was going to be. And if I started a diet and I didn't like it, or it wasn't getting me the results I wanted to see, that I would be willing to change it up or modify things or work it out. Like I could change lots of things about my diet. And I have changed lots of things about my diet over the past 18 months. I went from when we first started, I didn't have avocados at all. I didn't have cherry juice at all. I was eating mostly starches and, vegetables. And then 6 months in, we started playing around with recipes and we found some things. I started working out and I started drinking this cherry juice to lose weight. Then kind of was finding that having the avocado in my diet wasn't helping. And so I cut that out, and then it still didn't give me better, as good of results as I wanted. I stopped kind of gaining weight. And so then I got rid of the juice because I don't need the juice. And then in the last month now, I've gotten rid of the nut butters and mostly all of the nuts. If they're in a recipe or in a sauce, I'll have some cashews, but I'm not just grabbing handfuls of them and eating them. And it's been about changing my habits. It's about creating these these sustainable habits that are going to get me to my goal. And I've been very happy with the results so far. I had somebody ask me today if I'm still losing weight, are you still losing crazy amount of weight? It's kind of tough to be like, well, I haven't been losing much recently. But it's also kind of hard to explain to people that I've never maintained a weight ever. I've always either been going up or down. It's never been a flat line ever. It's either been I'm eating 4,000 or 5,000 calories a day and putting on weight every single day, or it's I'm eating 800 to 1,000 calories and I'm losing weight every day. And something that I've said in the past that was one of my motivations when starting this was that I want to be a 220 pound person. And in order to be a 220 pound person, I have to figure out how to eat like somebody who's 220 pounds, because I was only ever eating like somebody who was either 500 pounds or somebody who was 90 pounds. But I never have eaten like somebody who is a healthy weight. I say 220 because that's my goal. But if I got down to 200 or something like that, that would be great too. But I never could figure out how to manage it, or how to get it done. And so this time it was about finding the right balance of volume. Really what it came down to is finding the right balance of volume to calories. And I've kind of learned this as I've been doing this, but I feel like now that I'm eating like somebody who's a healthy weight. I maybe have a few more calories in them, but overall, I don't think that I'm eating a crazy amount of food. A lot of people that are succeeding with this low calorie density diet, they're eating a large volume of food too. And you don't even realize, how much food you get to eat and not gain weight. So it's been awesome developing these healthier, better eating habits and learning about the food and the digestion, and just overall, it's been really a great experience. And so I'm going to continue to eat this way. Lots of starches, lots of vegetables, get rid of the salt, the oil, and the sugar, and just keep at it. I am, that's really all I had to talk about today. I am not going to be streaming tomorrow. I have a meeting that is going to make it difficult for me to stream tomorrow. So I think I'm going to skip streaming tomorrow. I'll be back on Wednesday to weigh in Wednesday. And then I think Thursday, Friday are fine as well. I don't think I have anything going on that's going to impede it, but I had a thing come up for tomorrow afternoon. If I can work it out, I will stream or I'll do something, but I think that it's just going to be easy enough for me to just skip tomorrow and then weigh in on Wednesday. I want to thank you guys for checking out today's video and following along. I hope you guys all had a great weekend. I hope you have a great evening tonight. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the video, click the bell icon so you get alerted when I post videos or go live. If you have not started your diet yet, get started right now. There's nothing coming up that's more important than your overall health and well-being. And nobody ever gets to their goal, looks back and wishes they would have waited. So get started now. Quit putting it off. Quit kicking it down the road for a later version of yourself. Take care of it right now. Don't fall for the two myths of moderation, the myth of moderate change, the idea that you can slowly make changes and eventually you'll be healthy and you'll be eating this healthy diet. It's extremely difficult to do. You're constantly fighting yourself over these highly tempting foods. And if your goal is to eat this healthy diet, if your goal is to eat a whole food plant-based diet, then just switch to a whole food plant-based diet, and you'll see the results much faster than if you try to do it slowly. And also the myth of moderate consumption, the idea that eating a little bit of something unhealthy is okay. If it was true, there would be so many of us that are skinny, guys. I know we've all tried moderation diets. We've all tried to eat less of the junk food, eat half portions of food, try to eat moderately. You can still eat that brownie if you just eat a third of it. Eat 1/8 of a piece of brownie and you can still enjoy it. It just keeps coming back, and you just keep fighting that temptation, and it just creates this awful cycle that we've all been stuck in. I have got my phone blowing up today, so I'm going to get out of here, guys. Thanks. You all have a wonderful evening.